We got 2 NFL games today. 2 NFL games to get plus money props, to get parlays, to get big time picks. Will weather play an issue? Will offense play an issue? Will defense play an issue? Man, it's all on the card right here. And this is the jigsaw pieces right here on the Tony Cutillo Show to get you some winning tickets. What's up, everybody? It is Tony Cutillo here. It's Saturday. It's Jigsaw. This is the Jigsaw Pieces. Developed right here on the Tony Cutillo Show. If you're following Tony Cutillo Show, make sure you get over to that YouTube page. I keep stressing it. I highly suggest it, man. Like, get over there, like, subscribe. That's the biggest thing that you could do. And I'm going to show you exactly what I do today on how I come up with my jigsaw pieces and my monster parlays. Now, again, last night was the first time in a week that we didn't hit a plus money prop. Okay, just the first time. It happens, right? It happens. Haven't hit a parlay in 7 days. That sounds, everybody's like, what? 7 days? Yeah, because we're used to hitting parlays. That's what we do. So we're gonna see, because there's a couple concerns in these two games. Could be a weather concern in a later game. All right, with some maybe like some frozen precipitation. I don't know. But listen, we are locked in like we always are. And make sure that getting it over to the sports betting pick page right here, powered by Odd Chopper, part of the Tails Network. And again, very, very simple. Make sure you get locked in. I'll share it right now so everybody knows that, this is the jigsaw page right here on Odd Chopper. Okay, these are the jigsaw pieces. All right, you have the plus money prop train. You got the combo package. All right, that's what you want to do. And again, this is going to give you the opportunity to be in the premium Discord chat. But again, this is just me. Okay, this is just me. And this is why I want to let everybody know. So a lot of people are like, what makes this guy so freaking special? What makes this guy so special that he's giving out his picks, right? So I've been doing this for a very long time. Been doing this for easily 15 years, right? But started off as a fantasy guy and parlayed that in the DFS in the sports betting. And I have my own methodology. I have my own ways that I look at things. I have my own ways that, I decipher the way I want to pick the props. Okay. And I'm going to show you exactly what I do. Again, if you're checking in, whether it be on X, whether it be on Facebook, just get over to that YouTube page, because what is going to happen is sometimes I cannot get the comments from the other third-party softwares. Okay, so I want to make sure that everybody is getting what they need. All right, because again, like, sometimes what happens is these other outlets, depending on the way you stream, I mean, it just, like, there's hiccups, man. There's a lot of hiccups in these things, right? There's a lot of hiccups in these things. Like, quite possibly, like right now, it's telling me that I'm only live on one area when I goddamn well know that I'm live on several different areas, right? But it's what happens, man. Like, that's all I could say. It's what happens, and again, like here, like it's showing a picture on one page, not showing a picture on the other. Again, it's powered by Rise React Media, which is my PR company. So let's dive into it, man. I'm trying to fix this as we go along. Let's dive into it. Let's get the picks, because you could always watch it later as well. For some reason, it's only diving into one. So the first thing that I do, and let me share the screen. So the first thing that I do when I go, actually, now hold on for a second. I want to make sure that I have everything lined up here. Okay, yeah. So first thing I do is, listen, I look at the over and unders. Now it's starting to fuel. Now the page is starting to fuel. I'm starting to see it now. Now things are starting to. It's been slow. Like, sometimes it's slow, and I don't know why it's slow. Right? I don't know why it's slow. It's very, very strange on why it's slow. It's starting to fuel up right now. So first thing I do is I look at the over and unders of the games. I get an idea of, what Vegas thinks. What do they think about that line? What do they think is going to come out of that line? Is it going to be a high? Is it going to be a low? Is it going to be a highly offensive driven game? Like, I'm always all about that. I try to decipher, is it going to be more of a rushing attack, more of a passing attack? I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Probably, I don't think I'm telling you anything new, right? I don't think I'm telling you anything new. But that's how, again, that's how I go about it, right? The first thing I do. Now you have two games, and I can tell you between the two games that I'm going to figure out, okay, you know what? Who am I going to, like, where am I going to go first? Where am I going to go first? That's what I'm saying. Where am I going to go first? Okay. And right off the bat, I'm going to look at this Kansas City game. Now, I'm going to tell you, man, this Kansas City game scares me. I'm going to tell you why. Because this is the first week of my championship semifinals in the playoffs for fantasy football. And I am taking CJ Stroud as my quarterback, and he scares me. Okay, he scares me. I actually thought about picking up Matthew Stafford. All right, but that's fantasy. That's another conversation for another day. So let's stick to the script here, and let's figure out exactly where we're going from the betting perspective. Okay, so the first thing I do is I'm going to share my screen as I go right to the DraftKings screen. Okay, and I'm going right to the totals. I'm going right to the spread and right to the totals. I'm going, okay, what am I looking for in this game? So over 42.5, it shows me that not expecting a ton of points, but not expecting a field goal game, right? So it's not under 40. It's not above 46. So that's kind of like where I go. 40, 45, 40, 46, like in that, if it's in that range, I'm expecting a couple touchdowns for both teams and maybe a kick or two, right? It could go either way. I'm not expecting a explosion, put it that way. And again, this is a really good underrated defense for the Kansas City Chiefs because again, Steve Spagnuolo is one of those dudes, man. Like he is a Hall of Fame guy. He is one of those dudes. And that's where I look at. Man, see what says Fairbairn, Boswell, or McLaughlin. Ooh, man. Man, we're going kickers here, man. Ooh, man. I don't know, man. Like, Chris Boswell, to me, I look at him and say, that offense is so slow at times. I know Russ has made Russ has been different. I get it. But man, I'll tell you what, man, that the Ravens, if they could just figure out that defensive scheme out and they could play like the old Ravens just a little bit, I think I would go Boswell, man. I'm going to be honest with you. So let's see this. Man. Steve, this is what we're going to do. Let me check out. We'll go right to the kickers. Okay. So this is what I like to do. When people ask me a question, let's go. What does Vegas think? Okay. What does Vegas think? So Fairbairn, okay, you're talking about over 1.5. They got him really juiced up minus 145. So they expect him to get a couple field goals, right? We already know that. So let's go to the Steelers game. Okay, so we're working with minus 145. So this is what I do. Okay, so this is what I do. All right, now look at Boswell. Minus 170. What's that tell you, man? That they like Boswell. I like Boswell. Okay, he's got the highest average, almost 3. All right, so he's almost kicking at least 3 field goals a game. And if you look at this offense, right? I mean, look, you could just look at the odds of the game, right? Let's just go to the game lines, right? Now you're getting a higher script, okay, with these game lines, but the way that look at the passing props. Okay, this is another way I look at it. Russell, look, over 208.5. Right? Lamar over 220. Like these guys aren't predicted to have these monster games, man. Like, and if you look at the receivers, I mean, you're still looking at a George Pickens-less offense for Pittsburgh. So for me, for my money, I would go Boswell and feel very, very comfortable going with Boswell. Exactly. No Pickens. Exactly. So I would 100%. I feel really good going with Boswell. So I go Boswell. My man Adam, yeah, let's go. What's up, Birds? Absolutely. Go Birds, baby. Everybody knows, again, this is, if you're on YouTube and you haven't subscribed, man, hit that like and subscribe just so everybody knows real quick. I at least got to tell you, I am my own independent brand right now. Yes, the bets are powered by OddsShopper because they've given me a platform and able to brand myself, okay, called the Jigsaw Pieces. So that's where people subscribe to get my bets, and I dropped 7 to 10 to 15 bets every single night, depending on the game volume, plus money bets, parlays, you name it. That's what I do. And again, everything's going to live here on the Tony Cutillo Show on YouTube. It's going to be different segments. I'm trying to make it like, kind of like a Rich Eisen, Pat McAfee kind of show where there's all different segments and friends of the program, but it's going to be the Tony Cutillo Show. So make sure that you get live and subscribe. And again, this is the Jigsaw Pieces. So now let's get to this Houston game. Okay, we've already talked about the over and under, and again, this is you're seeing exactly what I do. Okay, now I also what I'll do is I'll keep this page open, and then I'm going to go to the DraftKings DFS page. I'm going to go to the Millie Maker, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just select the Houston and KC tabs, and I'm going to go down the line. And I'm going to look, okay, do I have any cues? Anything sneak up on me that I wasn't sure about? Doesn't look like it. So we're good. But the reason why I like this is because I do look at the salary number. Like, there's no secret, right? What does Vegas tell you? Like, honestly, like, what does Vegas tell you? I say that all the time. Like, they are the experts. I don't care. You're not, listen. You're not beating the book every day, man. If you're beating the book every day, guess what? There's no book. Okay, so you have to take those ebbs and flows, right? Like, we didn't hit any plus money props yesterday. Sucked. Okay, but we hit them for 13 days in a row. Like, literally 13 days in a row. So you're not always going to beat the book, but you are going to be able to do it in little bits and pieces. That's why I call it the Jigsaw Pieces, right? So you already see that listen, Mixon priced up big time, obviously, right? He is the bell cow. Look, I think this is interesting. You see the difference between Pacheco and Hunt. It's only a $1,000 difference. So I will look at that. I will look at that very, very closely. Now you look at the receivers. I look at price point. I mean, obviously, Nico's the guy, but who's going to be that secondary guy without Menchie, right? Is it going to be Tank Dell, right? You have to think about it. Is Dell going to be able to step up? Okay. And if it's not Dell, I mean, you're going out. I mean, is it going to be Robert Woods? Is it going to be Hutchinson? I'll tell you what, man, like, this is what I'll do. I'll pull up the game scripts and I'll be like, all right, even with what did he get? He only got targeted one time. That's Hutchinson, but I like Hutchinson. I like his size. I like his routes, okay? Now, they do like Robert Woods because Robert Woods is a veteran, okay? He is a veteran. So sometimes what you have to do is you have to think about it and say, you know what? Do I go with the vet? This is a big game. In KC, understand how to get open. So I'd probably lean towards Robert Woods if I was playing DFS and I needed one of those value plays. I would probably lean towards Robert Woods. So let's go into the betting market and see what those receivers now are doing, okay, for Houston. And I'm telling you, this is exactly what I do. You're seeing kind of what I do every day when I look at these props. All right, so let's go down. These are the alt lines, obviously. And again, if you sign up with me, okay, for the Jigsaw Pieces, which is right here, okay, I'm not pulling no wool over your eyes. It's $12.50 for 2 weeks, okay, or you could get $22 for the month, or you get $55 for 3 months. And what that does is that gets you all the picks and parlays. But here's the thing: it's with the top odds, okay, which means right now I'm showing you the DraftKings page, okay. But when I put a bet up, I have the affiliation with 14 sports books. So I'm giving you the best odds at that time. So all you need to do is bet it, right? So we could be minus 140 on DraftKings, but I might be able to get it a plus 108 at FanDuel. Okay, so I'm giving you that option, right? So you could go in there and you can grab it. So let's see the receptions. Now I'm going to tell you right now that I hate 6.5s. I friggin' hate them. I don't care who the receiver is. I hate 6.5s, and they're going to give you 6.5s. Okay. And the reason why I hate it is because so many different things can happen through the course of a game. And it's already a little juiced up at minus 105. I mean, less juice at minus 105. Okay. Which is showing you that it's almost going to be plus money. And I can guarantee you it's probably plus money in a couple other books, which means the odds are significantly less for that one to come out. So that's when I'll go, what are the yards? 86.5. Now, here's where I use the DraftKings page. And again, and this is if you don't have the EV tool for Odd Shopper, which I highly recommend, by the way, because it's going to give you so much more than this, and it's going to be easier. But we're going to share his tabs. I'm going to open up Nico Collins. I'm going to go by his targets. Okay, what are his targets? Okay, what are his yards? All right, you know, again, like he's inconsistent in times, right? He's not hitting that 86 number. I mean, even against Dallas, only gets 54. That could be game script, right? Last week, only 17. That was an odd game against Miami, right? But he was able to score 2 touchdowns to boost up his value. So I'm going to tell you right now, against this offense, I see no value in Nico Collins. Okay, so from a betting perspective, I am not taking Nico Collins. All right, just my now. Maybe you want to take him for a touchdown at ATD. Completely up to you. But I'm not going to take Nico for the catches or the yards. Now, let's go to the next one. So who's going to be that next guy? Remember, we talked about Robert Woods, right? We talked about Robert Woods. So let's see what they're going to give us for Robert Woods. I can tell you right now, I love this pick right here. Okay? So if you're going to get me a number 3 receiver in an offense that's going to throw a lot, that's missing one of their guys, that has a veteran, okay, that continues to get 21 to 24% of the snaps, which is obviously going to go up now, okay? It's going to go up now because he's going to have to run a couple more routes. And he at least gets, you know, 1, 2, 3 targets a game. Listen, guess what his target to catch ratio is over the past 4 weeks? So people say, what is target to catch ratio? Obviously, it's targets based on how many catches he gets off those targets. He's 100%. Dude, don't drop the ball. Okay? This dude don't drop the ball. All right? So there's your first play for today. I will put it in there. Listen, we're going to go Robert Woods over 1.5 receptions. I think that is an absolute stud out play. Okay? Now, let's look at who we have. Now, we're not even going Casey yet. You got to focus on one thing at a time. Now, Tank Dell, another number I hate is the over 3.5. Tank Dell is the long guy, right? Spagnuolo can get very, very shifty with his blitz packages against Nico. And Nico has shown that he can be very susceptible to the sack by holding onto the ball a little too long, trying to make things happen. They run a lot of deep routes out there in Houston. So I don't think I'm going to be on that. But for Tank Dell, I'm going to go yards. Now, I do like the yards at over 40.5 because you know what Tank Dell is. Now, here's the thing. Let's go over. Okay, let's share this tab instead. Again, you see how I do this. Okay, let's go to Tank Dell. And this is the kind of time that you put in. Now, I could be sitting here for 2 hours. We're not going to do that. So I'm going to do this just a little bit, and then I'll put all the picks up. But Tank Dell, what's his average? 13, 23, 24, 20. So if you take that, I easily do some math here, right? 23, 24, 13. The median's about 18.5, right? So I know he's got about 18.5 average, and he's averaging about 2 catches. So if he's got 18.5, this is quick math, people. Okay, just bump that to 19. Okay, 2 times 19 is 38. Okay, his number is 40.5. So I say to myself, can he get that extra catch? And guess what? He can. You know why? Again, I'm going to go back, and everybody does things differently, but we're going to go why. What does Vegas say? Over 3.5. So if he averages 2, okay, and he gets 38 yards off those 2 catches, and Vegas says his over is 3.5, that means he can get that extra catch to 3. And if you throw another 18.5 on the 38, you hit the over 40.5. So I'm going to go over 40.5 for Tank Dell. See how we just did that? That's how, again, I'm not saying this system is completely correct, but this is how I think about things. Okay? This is how I think about things when I do these bets. So I want to show everybody that because the Tony Cutillo Show is a brand. I am Tony Cutillo, obviously. My betting alter ego is always going to be Jigsaw. That's why I call it the Jigsaw, because I get fired up, man. I get passionate about these damn picks. I dive into them. I'm not just giving you guys out a code. I'm not just saying, yo, bet this because I like this guy. No, this is my system. This is what I'm doing. Okay, this is how I'm breaking it down. And I love to break it down because there's so many different intricate pieces that we could break down. So there's two plays that I like right there, right off the bat for Houston. And they are why. Again, if you're checking in live on YouTube, live on X, live on Twitter, check in, comments. What are you betting? You got any questions? I'll let you know what I'm looking at. But right now, that's where I'm looking at right there. Okay, over 1.5. Again, I can't give everything away, right? So I would give you those. Those are going to be 2 free picks right there on the Odd Shopper Tails page for the Jigsaw Pieces. Obviously, I'm going to have more. Okay, but that's where I'm going to give you that right there. That's how I'm looking at that script. Okay, so now let's go. Let's go Kansas City. I'll give you. Listen, we'll go Kansas City. Okay, so right away, let's go rushing props because remember we talked about a $1,000 difference between Pacheco and between Kareem Hunt, and we said, okay, we know that Andy Reid likes to use 2 backs. Okay, you're seeing the average, but this is in boast, right? You know, you can't go by the average of Kareem Hunt because that's based on his starting capabilities and his maximum touches. Why Pacheco was out, so remember that. So that's the thing. That's why you have to watch the game. That's why you have to watch football. That's why you just can't be a robot. Because if you were a robot, okay, and you were a person just giving out those fake codes so you can get paid, okay, what would happen is you pull up this page and go, oh, look at Kareem Hunt. He's averaging more yards than Isaiah Pacheco. Yeah, because Kareem Hunt was the starter, you idiot. Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but it's true, man. Like Pete, this is what people are doing. They're pulling the wool over your eyes, man. Like, I watch all these games, whether it be a condensed version or a full version. I love the sport that I'm betting on, whether it be NBA, Major League Baseball, or NFL. Okay, I pick out so many different things along the course of the games that I put in a mental block, I write down, and I remember. Okay, so let's go down. Okay, we already know that Joe Mixon is the bell cow, but let's just go. Let's look at the rushing yards and see if there's kind of any. Now, I think this is interesting. You got almost an 83 yards per average yards per run, yards per game. I'm sorry, and you're only giving you over 64 and a half. I mean, they're cutting that by almost 25 yards. The Kansas City defense, Chris Jones, those guys, you know, they're unbelievable up in the middle. They really are. So I think that looking at that right there, that could be a reason why that's dropped. I'm not going to touch I'm not a big rush yard guy. I do like the rushing and receiving numbers. But just for this, I will say right off the bat, you know, I am looking at this number right here, Xavier Worthy. Now, I will say this. Here's another way that I think about these sports bets, man. My man JD Jigsaw doing work for. I'm trying, JD. I am trying, my man. I am trying. So here's the way I think about this number. So what do the Houston Texans do the best? They rush the quarterback. The Houston Texans have, if not the number one, they have a top because it fluctuates week in and week out, right? But they have a top 3 defense in all football. Could possibly be the best defense. Right up there with the Philadelphia Eagles and a couple other teams. But, you know, what happens when you play a very, very good defense? What happens when, you know, you have to say, okay, my number 1 option is Joe Mixon. My number 2 option is CJ Stroud, right? You know, if you're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs, what do you think those 2 guys would do? Right? They would try to block both of those guys, which would give the opportunity to some of the receivers. But now we're flipping the script. So what do you think? You're already going to have a Patrick Mahomes that's hobbled, right? You already know that the Kansas City Chiefs, they don't stretch the field well, okay? Because D-Hop is who he is right now. Juju is who he is. Kelsey would be on one guy that can stretch the field. That's Xavier Worthy. But the defense is smart about that. D'Amico Ryans is a former linebacker, Pro Bowl linebacker in the NFL. You think he doesn't know that the only guy they have to stretch the field is Xavier Worthy? So now the chess match happens. So now Andy Reid, who is the best West Coast offense play caller of possibly all time, right? When you look at it based on rings and playoff victories, if you look at what Xavier Worthy is, you look at Andy Reid, go, okay, what's the chess match here? The chess match is more motion. The chess match is more sweeps. The chess match is more behind the line throws. There's no way, in my opinion, that Xavier Worthy doesn't get over 1.5 yards rushing today. Now, like we always say, let's go over to the DraftKings page, okay? And let's cheat a little bit, okay? Let's cheat a little bit. So let's bring up, all you got to do is click on KC. And this is why we use this. Bring up Xavier Worthy. Look at his rushing attempts. 3, 1, 1, 1, 2, right? Now, they're not always positive yardage, but we only need 1.5 yards. We only need 1.5 yards. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is another thing that I look at. Look at the last 2 games. If you look at these last 2 games, what do these 2 defenses have in common right here? Cleveland Browns and Los Angeles Chargers. They both have a stud defensive pass rusher in Bosa and Garrett. When you have a stud pass rusher that comes off the edge, what do they like to do? More motion, more sweeps. Is it odd that he got 4 attempts in those 2 games and both are positive yards? Those guys come in, he goes out. This is the way I think about the game, people. Like again, nobody's wrong. Everybody has their own plays, but this is the way I think about it. So I am 100%. I think that is a lock. I hate saying lock, but I am telling you, man, I love that play. Okay? I love that play. So we're going to lock that in right there. And I think we might actually make us into a parlay if they let us. Okay? Because sometimes they don't let you. Okay? So sometimes you got to get it's a pain in the ass. But I like this a lot right here. Okay. I mean, look at these and again, you're not going to see a lot of people that bet these numbers, right? You're not going to see a lot of people because a lot of people, what they do is they get in there and they bet the top guys. They bet. I try to go underneath because if the Sharks aren't throwing money at it, the value's not going down, meaning the juice isn't getting up there, right? So if they're not betting at it, you're getting more of a value. And I like the value right here. Now, again, minus 135 is really juiced up. But based on the parlay, okay, let's see if we can get it in. So let's see if that. I'm going to clear this. So we got Robert Woods, we got Tank Dell, and we got Xavier Worthy. Okay, so you're gonna lock these bets in right here, and these will be in the Discord. So again, if you get into the Discord, if you sign up, again, it's $12.50 for 2 weeks or $22 a month. Okay, when you go in there, okay, you're going to get your Discord invite, and that Discord, okay, is going to have the picks with the top odds. So that minus 135, okay, I could tell you it possibly could be minus 110 based on the book. I'm just doing this at one book so you can see the way it works. All right, so let's take these out. Let's clear all these bets. Okay, clear all. And what we're going to do is we're going to go up here. We're going to you got to click again. You got to click the same game parlay because they kind of turn things around. So we'll go right to receiving odds. Okay. We got to go down to Robert Woods. Or let's go Tank Dell receiving yards. Okay. Make sure you get to the over and under. As your receptions. Okay. Like you really gotta find there it is right there. It's so weird, same number, but you got to put it in this way. Okay. Now, Xavier Worthy receptions. We want Xavier Worthy rush yards. So that'll be in the rushing. Okay, but let's look at the Robert Woods receptions over and under 1.5. There you go. Now we're at plus 238. So now let's go to the rushing. All right, and let's see if we can find it. Let's see if they'll give us that Xavier Word. There's an interesting. If you want to bump up, you want to climb a little ladder. You know, I'll be honest with you. I think that could be a nice play right there. You can get plus money, plus 105 for 50 or more rushing receiving. Let's see what his over and under rushing receiving is. 45.5. That's actually a nice number too. It's only a minus 115. I'll tell you, I like Xavier Worthy in this game. I do. So as you can see, here it is right here. So even with a juiced up number, look at that, man. Plus 480. So I mean, look, man, if you want to be, let's call say you want to put $10 on that. $58, right? $58 for a $10 bet. Now, here's the thing too. If you're part of any of these books, you're going to get the odds boost, all right, which is anywhere between 25 to 33%. So you're talking this is going to go up to about 580 to 610, okay? And now you're even going to win more money if it turns out. Again, that's where I'm at. I like that a lot. So we're gonna go over Tank Dell. Oh, and here you go. Here's a free parlay right here. I think it's a very attainable parlay. I love it. Again, that's how I do my bets. My man, see you checking in. See you, man. Yo, see you real fast because I'm locking in some bets, man. I know you're again. Make sure you go follow see you at Seeing the John, man. At Seeing the John, dude's on TV, dude's everywhere. He's changing ties on TV with plays. Got the best hair in the game. You can hear him on Sirius. You can hear him on the Edge, CBS Sports Line. You name it, man. See it. What do you think about these three plays, man? If you're still listening, what do you think about these three plays? Over 40.5 receiving for Tank Dell, over 1.5 catches for Robert Woods, and over 1.5 rushing yards for Xavier Worthy. That's where I'm going to go in the Houston game right there. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, that's where I'm going right there. I love that. I love that bet, man. I love that bet. All right, so let's swing over to the other game, and then we're gonna get out of here. Okay, we've been about 30 minutes. I want to spend about 15 to 20 on each game. So just give you an idea the way I'm wired, the way I look, the things I look at. And again, this is the Tony Cutillo Show. If you're following on YouTube, look, see. This I was thinking about Dell over receiving yards. This puts me over the top. Yeah, exactly. That 1.5, see it. I'm like, I looked at it, right? And just so you know, you're just checking in. So I'm gonna give you a quick idea on why I like the Dell over receiving. So his over receptions is over 3.5, and he's averaging 2 receptions. And he's averaging close to 19 yards per game receiving. So that's 38. And obviously Mechie's out. And I look at Vegas thinks he's not going to get to the over 3.5, but he'll probably get to at least the 3. So if he adds one more catch and another 19 yards, he's going to cross the over. So I'm looking at that like, okay, I'm following Vegas, what they're telling me. And I'm going, you know what? I'm going to cross that over 40.5 because I think he's going to get at least 3 catches today. Okay, and I again, no Menchie. I know he's a really good route runner. Certain guys cause the Chiefs. Exact 3+. Exactly. See, knows he likes the 3+ catches. See, that 3.5 is tough, man. I hate the over 3.5. I do. It's such a sneaky sucker play, man. It is. I hate it. I love the 3+ catches. That's what I'll say. His line today. Ready for this stat line. His line is going to be 3 catches for 56 yards, possibly a touchdown, but 3 for 56. I think that's going to end with 3 for 56. So let's see. Now let's go into the next game, and then we'll get out of here. Then everything will be in Discord, like I told you guys, right? Everything will be in the Discord for a game. Now we got the Baltimore Ravens and Pittsburgh Steelers. Listen, bad weather in the forecast, on and off. Could be rain, could be snow, could be sleet. It's all over, man. It's all over the map. It's crazy. I'll be honest with you. This is could be a violation, man. But you guys let me know. I benched Derrick Henry today for my fantasy matchup. So just so you guys know, I benched Derrick Henry today. I am in the championship semifinals, and I have an abundance of running backs. I have Saquon Barkley. I have Derrick Henry. I have DeAndre Swift. I have Devon Achane. And I have Chase Brown. So I benched him because I start 3 running backs. So I benched him for Chase Brown. I'm afraid that Derrick Henry is becoming touchdown dependent. And I listen, the Steelers, you saw what they did against Philadelphia. Derrick Henry, obviously, listen, Saquon Barkley still got some rock. Kenny Gainwell ran well, but at the same time, man, they're not going to let them happen twice in a row. And you saw Derrick Henry last week. So that's just my quick fantasy take. You can call me crazy, call me nuts, but that's what I'm doing. I benched him for Chase Brown. So we'll see how that works. All right. So let's look at this game. Right off the bat, the higher over and under. I already showed you about the passing numbers. I don't like the passing numbers at all. I'm not touching either of these. I'll be honest with you. I will do the touchdowns. I'm going to say this right now. Like, I think this is a lock every game. Like, I'm not even looking at numbers. Like, there's certain things that you say in yourself that in sports betting, you're going to gravitate towards one specific person. And what Lamar Jackson has been able to do, it's just been ridiculous, and especially in certain games. He is a absolute beast. Now I know this number because of the weather could be down. I get it. I mean, I'm going to look at right now. This is what we're going to do. Let me look at the weather right now to see if it's changed. Okay, in Baltimore. So right now, let's say in Baltimore Ravens. Okay. So right now you're looking at M&T Bank. It says partly cloudy with a rain or snow shower in spots. 40 degrees. Bro, I'm not worried. So see, that's where so when you go here, I'm trying to teach everybody too about the way I do it. Okay. Obviously, I'm gonna click on Baltimore. But see this right here. Okay, right away you click, it says sleet. So if you don't dive into it, you may think, oh my God, like sleet. Like, I want no part of that game. And then all I do is do a simple Google search. Okay. Share this tab instead. Okay. M&T daily weather. Look, 12:20. That was yesterday. So 12:21, 38, partly sunny and windy. Bundle up for the football game. I don't see nothing. Yesterday was rain or snow showering, so I don't see nothing. Right? Again, go down, make sure. Okay. I mean, like, look, 60. So this was 2 days ago, 60% chance of rain showers, right? Look, just go click right on the weather channel. Right? When in doubt, click on the weather channel. Okay. I don't see any rain in this forecast right here. I don't see anything. Okay. Nothing. Right. So I'm gonna say that we are good. Right. So weather done. I'm out. Okay. So let's go back to our sneaky cheat sheet. Okay. And let's share and let's go to Lamar Jackson. And let's bring him up. And let's look at his touchdowns. 5, 2, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 5. Like, again, like, it's very rare he only has one. Like, in the beginning, he started out, and now he's just been on fire. And here's an underlining fact, too. And these are the stupid things that I look at, but look at his receivers. Okay. Bateman, questionable with a foot. He's going to play. He'll be fine. Right. This is a Deontay Johnson. To me, that just shows that Lamar wants to throw another touchdown. Something happened with Deontay Johnson, man. Like we're not going to hear about it right now, but something happened. Like, right? You know how this is. Something happened behind the scenes. And I'm telling you right now, men are men, bro. And Lamar was like, I'm going to go out and show this dude, I don't need him. I can throw balls at anybody, man. Like, Lamar's going to throw 3 touchdowns today. Okay, so that's my prediction. Okay, so I am going in on the over 1.5. Very, very simple. Now let's go to the receiving numbers, because you just saw all those receivers that are out. No Aguilar. Deontay Johnson's gone. Bateman probably play, but probably dinged up. So the focus obviously is going to be on Zay Flowers. But I think, Isaiah Likely can get a little more play. 2 guys I'll always look at when the receivers are down are Isaiah Likely and Justice Hill. I like Justice Hill from the receiving standpoint. And look at that number, so juiced up, over 2.5 at minus 145. I like that. But I tell you what, man, I'm going to go look at these yards and see where he's at. And that's actually kind of low. I took the rushing and receiving on Justice Hill last week, and it was, let's say, the rushing and receiving last week was let's see where it's at this week. Come on. Oh, here we go. It was like over 26.5. This is a really good number. This 33.5 rushing and receiving. He gets a lot of looks. Like, if you go back and look at the way they utilized him last week, he only had 2 attempts in a running position, but he had 5 catches, right? On 5 targets. So, I know you might say, well, he only had 7 yards rushing. I get it, but that's 7 yards. Like, if he gets 3 catches for 27 yards. That 7 yards is what takes you over that under, right? So that's why, like, because you just never know how it's going to fluctuate, right? So I actually like that number. I do, because you're going to have to get different, right? You're going to have to get different. And as we wind down, you want to start to preserve your guys, right? And Derrick Henry, they're going to start to preserve. You saw, listen, I don't care what you say. Yeah, he got dinged up a little bit, but Kenny Gainwell got a lot of clock last week for the Eagles because they still want to preserve Saquon Barkley. Okay. Justice Hill is that second guy. Okay. Justice Hill is a guy they trust. All right. They trust him. So he's going to be on the field a lot. Okay. He's going to be feeling a lot. So I do like him. And I would probably play that number. Right. I'm not going to play it right now, but that's a pretty low number to me. The over 33.5. But I'm going to go up here. Let's look at rushing attempts for a minute. Okay. Let's see where Lamar Jackson, man, that over 8.5. If that was 7.5, I'd take it. Okay. I would take it, but it's not. All right. I do think the Najee Harris one is pretty unique at over 12.5. It's very, very juiced up. Okay. But I'm going to go with guys that I love. I'm always going to go with guys that I love. Okay. And I'm going to go right back to our receiver. As you see, I don't play a lot of rushing props. I just don't. Rushing is so hit or miss, man. Like I'll play some if they're really out in front, but let's go to these receptions. And I told you that two guys look like now. Isaiah Likely over 2.5. If it was over 1.5, I'd be all in. Mark Andrews over 3.5. That's actually a really good plus money bet. That is a really good plus money bet. There's no TJ Watt. Now you're going to say to me, what the hell does that have to do with Mark Andrews? Well, for me, what that has to do with Mark Andrews is there's no chip. So if Mark Andrews has no chip, he doesn't have to worry about chipping that defensive end like a guy like TJ Watt. That's an extra route. That's an extra target. That's an extra catch. Dude, I am locking this in all day. Okay? I plus money? Are you kidding me? Over 3.5? Like, I am locking that in all day. So give me that. I love it. Let's go down to receiving yards. You see, I like, you can get very, very cute with the receiving yards. Okay. Now, again, Freiermuth, if it was 30, I get it. His yards per catch are low. I don't like it. Calvin Austin, you see how he's jumping up because there's no George Pickens. I don't like that at all, too, because they're going to throw to several different guys. Mike Williams, interesting play right there. Mike Williams could be hit or miss. Darnell Washington doesn't get enough snaps for me. But I do like this Najee Harris over 11.5. Let's just bang this up because, again, you see how I do things. Let's look at Najee. Okay. See that now that bothers me. That bothers me. Now, the Philly game, let's just take that out because that was weird. Right. But look at his attempts, though. They're pretty consistent. Right. They're pretty consistent. You know what? I'm going to pivot here just by looking at that. I don't like that. I don't usually do rushing, but I think that attempt was like super low for Najee Harris, right? It was, wasn't it? Yeah, that's his yards. Over right here, over 12.5. I'm gonna lock that in. I think he gets 15. I do. I think this is a punching match, man. Like, it's a punching match. I'm not gonna bet many reception numbers or passing numbers. I'd be in on the kicker too. Let's see. I'm gonna give you this too because I love kicking props, and I know it may be weird, but Boswell is just a stud. I bet his number is so juiced up. Wow, minus 170. Oh my God, that's insane. Now his kicking points though is over 6.5, right? So I actually like that number because I think Pittsburgh scores a couple touchdowns today. I do. I do think they score. I don't know how they're going to score, but I do think they score a couple touchdowns, and I think he gets at least one field goal. And Vegas is telling you they get two. I like the kicking points, man. At minus 115, I'm going to take that. Yeah, I'm in. Let's see if we can parlay this up, and then we're gonna get out of here. All right, because I just showed you how I do it. Again, this is the Jigsaw Pieces, powered by Odd Shopper. I am Tony Cutillo. This is the Tony Cutillo Show. This is the brand. Again, share this tab right here. This is my sports betting pick page. Okay, the link is in the description of the YouTube. Very, very simple. Okay, you can go monthly or weekly, which is actually bi-weekly. Okay, it's 2 weeks for $12.50, not $12.50 per week. It's 2 weeks for $12.50. Okay, it's $22 for a month. Or if you want to get 3 months, if it's $55. You save based on the months that you buy. And then this is a plus money prop train. This is different. Okay, this is strictly plus money props. You're going to get 3 to 5 plus money props every single night. Okay. And I'm telling you, if you hit 1 or 2 of them, you're going to pay for your $20 a month in one night. I have people that have signed up. They did the month. They won so many plus money props in a week. They paid for 6 months and still had profit in their pocket. Okay. Or you can get the combo package, which is $40 a month. That gives you the Jigsaw Pieces plus the plus money props. And these all come with the parlays. These all come with Discord. These all come with video. These all come with one-on-one. These all come with Q&As, mailbags, you name it. Everything is in there by yours truly, me, Jigsaw. Okay. So let's see if we can do this parlay right here. I'm going to clear this. So we make sure to do single bets. Lamar Jackson over 1.5 touchdowns. Mark Andrews over 3.5 catches. Najee over 12.5 attempts. And Chris Boswell, the over 6.5 kicking points. They may not let us do that in a parlay. We shall see. All right. So let's go. So remember, go up here. And again, this is just this book, but it's easy for me to show you by going to this book. Okay. So let's go right here. So right off the bat, Najee Harris, rushing yard. We look, see? They're the popular ones, so just go right to rushing. I was going to see, they don't even want to show you that, right? Najee Harris attempts. There we go. We're banging out the 12.5. We like that. All right, let's go to special teams props. Can we get it? Let's see. Will they get? Nope. They won't let us do the points. They only like just for the hell of it. I'm gonna put this in there. It's so juiced up though. I'll see what it comes out with, but I'd rather do for purposes. I'd rather do the kicking points. Let's get the Lamar over touchdowns, 1.5, and now we're going to add the Mark Andrews over 3.5 catches, and let's see where we come out with. Mark Andrews, boom, done. Actually, with the juiced up Boswell, it's plus 850, man. I mean, that's a pretty impressive number. Now, if you're on a sweat with the Boswell, you're like, because I do like the kicking points more than the field goals. Like, if you had to really lean a little bit, I would probably go, they scored 2 touchdowns and kick 1 field goal. So it's up to you. Maybe play it both. But I'm going to take this out and see what it does. And it's still a plus 600, man. It's still 6-1. That's a really good hit. And I think these are very good attainable numbers right here. Very, very good attainable numbers. So that's where we're at, man. Again, let's see. Let's get to the comments before we get out of here. My man, Japan checking in. Tony, I'm going to have to hop on the plus money train. Listen, the plus money train is fantastic, man. Like, I love the plus money train. And again, people, it's all about doing different things. Like, it's all about doing different things, right? Everybody has their niche. My niche has always been and always will be finding value. I love finding value in DFS. I love finding value in fantasy. I love finding value in bets. That's what I do. And I love the plus money bets. Plus money bets is something I started a few years ago. I'm going to tell you this. I'm very confident. Nobody's going to give you more plus money bets than I do. Nobody. And if they do, they're just throwing them up against the wall. But if you watch this, 48 minutes, I showed you exactly my methodology of how I go about these things. Okay, so at least you can see I watched the damn football games. Japan, she's second in with Japan. Japan says Derrick Henry touchdown, Ravens money line. I like that. I do think Derrick Henry scores a touchdown. Absolutely, man. Absolutely think he scores a touchdown. So listen, man, we're going to have fun today like we always do. Make sure you go hit that like, hit that subscribe button to the Tony Cutillo Show. You will see that. Listen, Tony Cutillo Show is not just Philly. Tony Cutillo Show is not just sports. Live shows, remote shows, sports betting, fantasy. I told you before, man, I've been doing this for a very, very long time, but I always was building somebody else's brand. It is now time for me to build my own brand. And that brand is Tony Cutillo. So get into Jigsaw Pieces, get into Tony Cutillo Show. And again, if you need help with the Odd Shopper, if you want to subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate the support. Won't let you down. And obviously, I'll be in Discord, go back and forth with you. I will get time things, so I'm there as much as I can. But I'm here to just help everybody win, man. Like we're not going to win every night. We're going to lose, but if we win more than we lose, then everybody's happy, right? So, all right, everybody stay safe and stay healthy. Like I always say, enjoy those 2 games today. Get that last minute Christmas shopping done. Make sure you take care of the family, like I always say. But again, man, make sure you get that quality time. It's very important this time of year. All right, I might pop on later tonight for another one for tomorrow's games because I do have an event, a PR event in the morning. So I won't be able to hop on in the morning. So maybe I'll hop on like a late night stream tonight. Maybe like around 11 o'clock or something, break down the games for tomorrow. But all right, everybody, hit me up. Let me know what you bet. Let me know how you make. Get in the comments, like, subscribe. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy. I will catch you back here next time.